What's up, everyone? Matt here. Trying to get everything set up here. See if we get anybody on for Saturday morning. Man. Uh-oh, there we go. I think we got the tablet up now. So I can see what everybody's talking about. Get everything set here. Hey, Stealth Road, what's going on? Night shift and sleep, I get that. Well, thanks for stopping in. Get some sleep, get some rest. I'm just drinking some coffee. Going to talk about my giveaway. Drawings on Monday. Kind of seeing who's up. I got asked about if I was going to have any scheduled time for going live, and really haven't picked anything yet. Just trying to see when people are on. Got my Mitten Maid cup. So we'll set that off to the side. Got a mess on the bench. I should probably do some bench cleaning. Let's see if we get anybody else in here. Let me try to pick some locks. Get some picks out here. See what we can do. Just pull them all out. We'll get some people in here maybe. I don't know. I didn't plan this. Just kind of jumped on with my morning coffee. House is quiet. Everybody's still sleeping. It's a new master #1 for me. Kind of giving me a little bit of issue sometimes. But that's master for you. Sometimes they can go real easy, and sometimes they want to be a little bit of a bear. What's everybody got going on? Morning, Lock Sport Click. You're about ready to learn some more, huh? If you got any questions, ask away. Maybe I got answers. It's hard to say. I was going to see if I've got a few people in today for the live. Maybe talk talk about my entries for the drawing on Monday. Talk about some survival, lock picking, locksmithing, all the usual. I'm working on my first cup. Probably my only cup for today, to be honest. I don't drink coffee as much as I used to. I'm diabetic, and sometimes things don't always feel good. What's going on? Rock out. Morning to you. I don't know if that one will serve me any purpose here. Let's see. I know I can rake this thing. Got a master number 3 now. What's everybody up to? Everybody got a good day planned for today? It's going to be hot here, looks like. Zoe the cat, hello. How are you? Everybody welcome, welcome. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? I know Greyhound's going live around 10. My time, anyway. Not sure what that'll be for anybody else. I'm Eastern. I usually catch him on Saturday morning. Some mornings if I'm not working. Or haven't worked the night shift, and then I'm sleeping by then usually. Okay, this thing's going to irritate me. Should be open by now. Should I rake it? Let's see if we can rake it. Building a dam in a creek is always fun. New cuffs today. You'll be loaded up like Stu here soon, Rock out. Okay. I think all I'm going to do is struggle with this one. This was an old lock I took off a job. So I'm not sure. I think some of the springs are shot. I know I have one. The springs are shot. I was thinking of cutting it open, spreading it out on something and see what it looks like inside. Again, my giveaway ends on tomorrow, basically. Get your entries in. Anybody wants to get in on them, I'm going to do the drawings on Monday for the winners and hopefully get out the packages out I have a few that need to go out. I got busy towards the end of the week here. I was feeling sick at the beginning of the week. Diabetes is not fun. But we usually work through it. All right, rock out. This thing here is whooping me. You're the man with them. I need some help. I've picked it a couple times, but I can't get consistent with it. I want to start getting out, do some hiking and camping again. Get my hiking partner back out with me again. So one of the things I save off of things that we buy are the anti-theft devices. I don't know if you guys know about this or not, but we know about lock shimming. But these things contain little metal strips in them that are perfect for lock shims. See if we can get this open. That one still had the backing on it. See what we got in this one here. Uh-oh. I don't think this one's got one. Well, not real sure how good that one would have been for anti-theft. Because guess what? It don't have nothing in it. Hold on, we got more. I know a few of these got stuff in them. Uh-oh, people are getting up. See if we can get this open here. There we go. Just try not to bend them up too bad. There we go. Get that one out. But there you go. Let's make a good shim for locks. If you need to shim a lock, see if I got something here we can shim one real quick with that maybe. Get some of this stuff out of the way here. Let's see. That's a quick set. Yep. Go over shimming a little bit here. I don't know how much you guys have seen this done. Some of this other stuff out of the way here. don't need the plug spinners. But the lock guy, he said he wanted to learn something, so I don't know if he knows this or not. Wife's up. Hello, Dawn. Morning, Greyhound. So I do this quite often for locksmithing, where we don't have keys. So take that shim we pulled out of there, put a blank key in, and go into the back of the lock here. These actually make pretty decent shims. You gotta be gentle though. As for how you do this, you don't really want to destroy that shim too bad. Hopefully you're all picking this up. And slowly pull that key out and keep pressure on that shim. And these strips that come out of the anti-theft device, they're pretty thin, so they actually work out pretty well, but they're fragile. And like I said, this takes a little bit sometimes. Make sure everything lines up. Pretty much it's done by feel. But use this to separate the top pins and the bottom pins till you get them all so you can turn the cylinder or the plug in the cylinder. Like I said, most of it's done by feel, so I went off there a little bit. Now that we're on camera, we're going to struggle with it, huh? But you just kind of keep working everything in. Uh-oh, I think we went off to the side. Again. Yep, we did. On camera, huh? So I hope everybody's got their entries in for the giveaway. Talk about that while I'm struggling here a minute. Yeah, I guess this is what happens when you go live, huh? You start having issues. This is getting a little bit like picking locks, huh? Sometimes it wants to cooperate, sometimes it don't. Yeah, going off to the side again. Yep, we're missing it for some reason. Wow. Watch everybody, we're struggling. Guess it's one of the things with being live, huh? Everybody gets to see all the struggles. But we're getting it. See, the key will only go in so far now. So we've separated some of the pins. But if you guys get to working on a lock you can't pick or something, this is something you can try. Not that you can tell from this one, but I do this quite a bit. The only thing you got to watch is if you start getting spool pins in there, which I don't think this has, but you never know. It's been a while since I've been into this cylinder. Just pulled it out of the box. It'll catch on the shim. Pesky security pins get you one way or another. Turn it yet. Nope. I guess the challenge here now is to see if we can do this, huh? back it out slightly. I don't think we got a security pin, but sometimes that helps. Get too much pressure on it. Still may have a couple pins in there. Encouragement, huh? But these are really thin too, so you don't want to go trying to barrel through with it. You damage that shim up and it gets more harder to get that through. Sometimes picking can be quicker, sometimes not. Usually this is a pretty surefire way of doing it though. As long as everything's cooperating. I think I keep sliding to the side. We're still catching somewhere. Mentioned the stealth rogue this morning that the struggle is real. I guess I'm making it known, huh? I feel like you're going in there, but yeah, keep going to the side. Yeah, we're struggling on this one. Well, we got something going on in there because I rolled that shim. Check my camera settings. Is that what you're talking about? Lock sport click. I haven't texted anything. All my notifications are coming up. My image is backwards, huh? Oops.
Look. Here.
I don't know if I can do that while I'm live. Uh-oh. My camera's up there.
There?
Yeah.
This, you can see the top part of this.
Huh?
So you need to move this back.
Is that what's causing the problem? I'm trying to be able to see if I can read
But
it.
you can see the messages coming across there. Can you? Let me see if you can still see. Oh, sorry.
Ow. The wife's trying to kill me. And I'm still struggling with this thing. Look at the numbers on your mat through the phone. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I'm not sure how to reverse that. I don't know if I can do that while I'm on live. Uh-oh. No, I don't know what I did. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Guess I'm not technically savvy enough with the phone yet, huh?
Okay, I know what he means. But that means you need to put this the other way.
I can't do that right now.
Because if not, you'd be like looking up at that.
Well, I can't fix that at the moment. Everybody will have to look at my numbers in reverse. The next live, we'll try to fix that. I can't even get the shim through here. It may actually be too thin for this lot. But they usually work. Let's see if I got any more sitting up here. These shims are a little thicker. See if that helps, because I keep running into something in there. I don't know if I got security pins in this thing or not. It's possible. Try a little thicker shim, but anyway. Like I said, security pins can cause a problem, especially spool pins, because they'll catch in that notch on the spool pin, or where the spool pin narrows out, and it'll catch that shim. Like everything else, there could be a challenge with it. But that is feeling tight. catching spool pins in there. Alright, Locksport, click. I'll DM you later. Guess I think I'm taking up enough time of everybody's time on struggling with this thing. No, that did wreck that shim I pulled out of that theft device. Got it all chewed up towards the front. So I don't want to keep everybody tied up with me doing boring stuff. What's everybody doing? But it does work. Why we're struggling with that? I don't know. Probably because we're live. But I'll play with it later. Try to figure out what was going on with that one. But most of my reason for going on today was put the announcement out there, you know. That's true, Rock Out. If it was all easy, it wouldn't be fun. But you do run into spool pins on those, and they do create a problem with shimming. So, just the same as lock picking. So, if I was actually doing a job, I'd figure out one way or another to do it. I'd probably go to picking, especially with it being a quick set. Probably be quicker. I'll put the tail piece back on. Maybe we'll try picking it, see if I have any luck that way. Things don't want to cooperate when I go on live for some reason. I do have some videos on my channel for shimming, if you guys want to check them out. But I was trying to give some tips anyway. But yeah, it does work. If you get some security pins in there, it will chew it up. Once you get boogered up on them though, they are thin enough where you can cut them. You can pull it out, come in, trim that off, and start over again. Let's see. So we come in here and we see. Let's try raking it first. Let's see if we can do it this way. So I always say you gotta have more than one way to do this stuff. I'm beginning to wonder if I threw spool pins in here. I may have. To make it a little more of a challenge to pick. Either that or just because it's live. Who knows? There we go. We did get it picked. At least raked. So there is that. See, I can do something. Why I wanted to struggle though, I don't know. I'll have to open it up. I'm not going to go through all that at the moment. I don't want to take too much time for everybody. I know Greyhound will be going live. I think one of those messages that came through was from Newhouse, something about a live will be early or something. Biggest problem is probably because I haven't had coffee yet this morning. I have my first cup, which we're working on. Again, guys, mostly I come on again about the drawing. Giveaway for the fire kit. And here's the fire kit again. Everything. So get your entries in. I really don't have that many, so some of you guys, if you're really looking for this stuff, you may luck out because not many people entered. Find the cards here and we'll go over entries again. And if I don't call your name and you provided an entry, send me a message. So for the fire kit, I have Dean P, Nick's Picks, Fighting Lock Picker, Rock Out Where You Lock Out, and Jeff and Things. So that's 5 entries that I have. If I've missed you, I'm gonna go back through just to try to make sure I got everybody on the entries before I do the drawing and make sure I got everybody. So make sure you get those entries in today or tomorrow. Make sure you hit me up if you didn't call your name out. I want everybody to have opportunity. We got the new picker kit. For the new pickers, I don't have many entries, guys. Rock Out put an entry in but told me to donate. Dean P, Bushcat Craft Rebooted, Joe from Boston, and Waffles Are Better. Those are the only 5 that I have for the new picker giveaway. If you're a new picker and you want to start picking, know anybody that's a new picker, tell them to add their name to the video. All they got to do is put on the video, my original video, and put on their new picker, and you'll be put in for the drawing. We have 2 challenge locks we're doing. I'm also doing, I still have to finish up getting those together. Like I said, I've been busy this week. And for those, for the challenge lock, there'll be 2 drawings, one each winner, plus maybe a few little goodies. And I have Nick's Picks, Fighting Lock Picker, Rock Out with Your Lock Out, Cloud the Great 99, Sea Stew Do, Lock Junkie, and Jeff and Things. So, like I said, it's coming down to the wire, so you guys will be getting that drawing here the next couple days. If you don't have an entry in and you want to enter, please get them in. No, Don, you can't enter the drawing. Now the wife wants to win it. Which do you want to win? You don't go to the woods. You want to win the new picker stuff or the challenge lock? She don't go to the woods and she don't like fire. She's just mad at me when I start fires. I am going to try to have some more survival videos coming out. I've been asked about a few different things. Land Nav, if you guys want to get into Land Nav, it's probably one of the best books out there. for knowing nothing and going to where you're orienteering with map and compass. I guess everything's backwards, but maybe you can figure it out. We got to figure out how to get our camera flipped around. Maybe it's because of the way I have the camera set up. I try to have it set up where I can see what the camera's seeing. Maybe that's flipping it to well, if you want to start picking locks, all you got to do is ask. I have a new poncho set up to try to here. Got recommended for tarp shelter poncho. It's fairly lightweight, so we'll do a video on that, showing that setup. I'm going to start doing some beginner videos. I've been asked. So I guess I got to start basically at the beginning. Gear, we'll do it in the backyard. I want to go into uh, and yes, button compasses getting a bad rep now, but there's no reason for it. Most will do what you need them to do. I carried a button compass when I was in the military as well as a backup. Um, Biggest problem with compasses is most people don't trust them for whatever reason. I have no idea. Seems trust in the compass is the biggest issue. People don't trust their gear. Think it's small, it don't work or something, but button compasses were easily hid on the body. They were used by pilots, airborne soldiers, and anybody else that was coming into a closer contact with the enemy or being possibly captured or behind enemy lines for one reason or another, for escape and evasion. It could be hidden on the body, made to look like a part of the clothing, and they will get you. If nothing more, they will get you to cardinal directions. You can use them in conjunction with other things such as a protractor or something like that to find your directions. Jeff and things. I need some tweaks. I have a poncho. I want to rig me a tent setup. All right, Jeff and things. We can go over some of that. I can throw some stuff up on the channel. That was part of the plan anyway. We can show you some pre-setups that you can do to have your shelter ready to go with with a poncho. But I'm gonna start that stuff soon here once I can get outside. We'll do some gear things. I'm gonna do backyard, back porch kind of stuff. I've had people tell me they can't get out into the woods, they can't do this, they can't do that, but they want to learn. Uh, to learn and practice, you don't need to get out into the woods. There are a few things you can get to make it easier. Sorry, guys, I'm reading the comments. Yes, Jeff and things. You can. There's a number of different things. I wouldn't go with a tarp that big if you're wanting to do a wandering setup or a hiking setup. Biggest problem is comfort. People don't want to carry a lot of gear, heavy and that kind of stuff, but there are things you can do and get and use. Part of my screen's obscured. I think you're saying you've done a 10 by 10 tarp. That's pretty big. We'll go over some of that. And I'm trying to look at the things, not so much that it'll be beginner stuff. 10 by 10 is for car camping. Yeah, it's a pretty big size tarp for carrying. Not unheard of. 10 by 10 will let you do a lot of things. You can fold that different ways to compact the shelter. Also give yourself a ground cloth. So, yeah, I'm going to be coming out with some stuff. I recommend for individuals about a 5 by 7 tarp. Square tarps can be a little bit better, but they also are either expensive or hard to find. Usually the oblongs seem to be the more common, and then a poncho is more oblong than it is square. So unless you get into like some of the Russian ponchos that they come out with in World War II, they make good shelter. Not knowledge is good to have. There are only really a few that you need to have to know. You don't have to have a whole encyclopedia in your head about knot knowledge. And if you don't practice those knots, they will uh, deteriorate. So yeah, I was gonna do some knots with Rock Out and Newhouse. When they were talking about doing survival stuff. But life gets in the way sometimes, and got in the way when we had that planned. I once built a shelter with the only knot I used was a arbor knot or jam knot or Canadian jam knot. They all use those names, but it's basically an arbor knot. It's a slip knot with a stopper knot. That is true, Jeff, and things. I usually carry a piece of paracord with me just about everywhere. Practice knots. It's kind of like picking. Sometimes I'll carry picks in. Yeah, Newhouse likes to start fires. He does. I have a couple fire start videos on the channel you can check out. But everything I've started with fire on there will be in the kit, except I didn't put in Gorilla Tape. I did start one fire with Gorilla Tape. But survival's not hard, guys. Nothing hard about it. It's just knowledge. Keep it simple. You want shelter, fire, water, food. Kind of in that order, too. Shelter is one of your biggest things. Get out of the environment, get out of the rain, wind, snow. All that stuff will kill you quicker. And yes, knowledge weighs nothing. That's why as your knowledge grows, your gear goes down. Me, I don't like carrying much of anything anymore. I'm getting old. I carried a 150-pound pack in the military. It weighed more than I did. Matt, are you into comms also? And yeah, what are you talking about, comms? You mean like ham radio, that kind of stuff? If you're talking about ham radio, yeah, I used to start to try to get it. I don't have a license. I was studying to get a license, but just haven't taken the test. Time and life seem to get in the way. I want to do more than I have time for. Back when I was growing up, CBs were a big thing, and hams were always there. Uh, in the army, I hated carrying the radio, so tried to avoid it. That thing was heavy and it always seemed to make a target out of you. But yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about, we can go through it. I'm going to put up a gear list. It's basically going to be kind of sort of Walmart, kind of sort of Amazon. Trying to get a best of worlds for a beginner. Somebody maybe with not a lot of knowledge, but not carrying a lot of stuff. Walkie-talkie, yes. I've used all those. Ham, walkie-talkie, NCB. Have all three, I think, floating around here somewhere. I don't know about a CB anymore. I may not have those floating around. I do have ham. I have two ham radios. And I do have some walkie-talkies. Like I said, I was looking at getting a ham license. But like I said, life kind of got in the way. We got to get probably back into that. Probably done a little bit of everything. We'll get the flint and steel out. We'll get the flint knapping out. This is my kit for flint knapping. We'll bring this out, show some stuff with it. We'll get the some different things going. Mostly it's just a matter of time. Try and get the time to get this stuff done. We'll see where we can get into it. What's my favorite fire technique? Ferro rod. Ferro rod's probably my favorite. I don't have lighter's probably the easiest. Ferro rod's probably my next choice. As to the amount of sparks you can get, the heat it generates. Even if I don't have a lighter, I usually have a ferro rod. I've shown it before. This is my basic setup for when I go out to the woods. It includes a Mora Garberg, which is kind of the knife I've been running with for a while now, and includes a 6-inch ferro rod with a tool sharpening striker. Somehow that got bent. Wow, look at that bend. I guess it don't take that much to bend it. But this is my favorite method of starting a fire. Ferro rod, 6-inch ferro rod. I keep Gorilla Tape on here that you can use to start a fire. It's tinder. And a carbide tool sharpener for a striker. I never really trust finding tinder at first. You gather tinder as you get out there. Usually I carry jute twine. I'll carry a roll of jute twine. And I'll use that as my tinder source. Let's see. Gorilla tape is always good. Now you guys are getting me into gear now, huh? Let's see. All around tinder is jute twine. Always carry a roll of jute twine with me for the most part. Uh, this will catch spark. Great for starting fire. Some will be in the fire kit that I'm giving away for bird's nest material. But I usually have a Swiss Army knife on me for helping to work tinder or whatever I might need. Recommend cutting small pieces off. This is your campfire project after you get a fire started and night starts to relax a little bit. Cut small pieces off and just start unraveling this stuff. I usually keep a Ziploc bag of some kind. And I'll separate some of this out for the next fire. One of the other things I'll do is I'll carry stuff with me, or a char tin at the minimum. And I will gather material to char out in the wild. You're always looking, always gathering. If you want to carry less, then you got to have the knowledge and you got to be looking. Yeah, most people don't have the knife skills to get a good feather stick, from what I found. Um, Getting those curls proper and to make it easy to catch those, you got to be thin. You got to have a quantity of product or of curls of any tinder though. I think one of the rules they used to tell me is you want tinder bird's nest the size of your head. You want to be surefire on it. You want to have all your materials gathered first. But with this, you can start fire straight from ferro rod, straight from lighter. If you got char cloth or char material of some kind, this will give you enough to catch flame to get that started. But the biggest key for a lot of people when they're out there is just gathering enough material. Everybody gets excited about getting that fire started. A lot of people put too much weight in what we're starting the fire with, whether it be lighter, ferro rod, or whatever have you. You gotta have enough material to maintain that fire while you get more material. So gathering material is always the best thing. I usually don't go over feather sticks with people right away. It involves nice knife skills that most people don't have. Uh, you want to, I emphasize more gathering material that you can use to start fire with. And you want to do that as soon as you hit the woods. If you're not carrying a whole lot of stuff with you, make sure you're gathering material as you walk. Dried tops of grass, anything resembling the jute twine that you can separate out or find in nature. Your tinder material is your biggest thing. You can start a fire with char cloth. You can start a fire with a ferro rod. You can start a fire with a lighter. And if you can get a friction fire going, that can be susceptible to weather. That just can be. Friction fire is my least favorite. If you want to come down to it, you can be dead before you get a friction fire going. Is it a skill to have? Yeah, but I wouldn't rely on it. I carry a dump pouch. Yes. Some form of a dump pouch. I was kind of looking for it. I got stuff stacked over here. I'm trying to see. Where I put my dump pouch. I just actually had it out, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not seeing it at the moment, but yeah, I carry a dump pouch. Friction fire is a good skill to have. But if we're talking pure survival or being able to pull yourself out of a situation that pops up, I like to have other options. I usually carry at least 5 ways to start a fire. It's usually, let's see if I got a fire kit other than the one I'm built for the giveaway. Sitting here close. You guys are making me think this morning. Well, I usually always have some kind of tin. With me to use for making char material, either from punk wood or cotton material. All right, lock, sport, click, take it easy. Usually I carry, I'll carry a ferro rod, I'll carry a lighter, I'll carry a Fresnel lens, I'll carry flint and steel, and I usually carry matches. Those are usually the 5 that I carry. Or some kind of magnifying glass. I do carry this daily. My eyes aren't as great as they used to be. So you want at least a 5 by This is a 5x magnifying glass. You want at least a 5x for uh, fire starting. That I usually carry daily. Along with later ferro rod and stuff I'll have in a fire kit, similar to the one I'm giving away. I'll have that in my kit, whether it be haversack or uh, some other kind of bag. Fireproof or new waterproof matches. Where are they from? Rock out. I usually carry UCO, UCO, however you say it, stormproof matches, lifeboat matches, or whatever you want to call them. Um, Usually, if I'm not carrying one, I usually carry a haversack with me in my pack to give me a carry option around camp when I'm out. This is waxed canvas, but I'll carry this and I'll use it for hauling stuff around, finding tinder, anything I need to gather. If I do a short walk away from camp, maybe I'll throw a few things in here, a water bottle, uh, something like that. But I usually always have a haversack in my kit. Might be folded up down the bottom. Sometimes I'll stuff extra clothes in there, use it as a pillow. It's just options. Here's one of the things that have been recommended for everybody when we were talking about tarps. There's a hiker's tarp from Walmart, and they're 5x7. I've used these. My kids have used these. Even some of the other survival instructors I know have used these. We'll set them up. I have a preset ridge line for it. I'll have some guidelines. Ridge lines usually paracord. Guidelines usually number 36 bank line, tarred bank line. All fits in there to a small compact thing. Sometimes I'll include 4 stakes or more. You carry a 5x7 tarp and poncho? Sometimes. Just depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I carry some stuff just to try it out. So this is a new poncho for me. The majority of my kits, though, they're just going to have a tarp like this. This is something I got recommended, so I wanted to try it out. But they say it's good for shelter as well. This is true. It can add to your weight on what you carry out and all that. And then if you get into the what ifs and everything else, these are fairly light. I do like these. A lot of times I'll try out gear on a car camp out. If I was taking the kids out or out with the Boy Scouts or something like that, I would try new gear. Most of my setups anymore are pretty light. The heaviest thing in it is usually the water bottle. And I'll carry a stainless steel or titanium water bottle. And I will carry a water filter of some kind. I've been carrying the smaller Grail water filter. The larger one, when it's full, is too heavy, in my opinion. That's its biggest downfall, is just the weight. And I've been running this water bottle. It is Triple Tree off of Amazon, actually. And I carried this through a couple survival classes. It's been in the fire to boil water. I've charred cotton material in it as a container. It's boiled, like I said, it's boiled water. It's carried water for me. It's worked great. Single wall. Take the lid off. If you're going to use it for a char container, put a piece of foil over the top, little hole in the top, and let the gas escape. Works great. Nothing I carry is real fancy. You don't need to carry a lot. You don't need to be heavy. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here soon. Greyhound will be starting. I don't want to pull everybody away from him. I'm going to be heading out too myself. I just want to remind everybody again about the giveaways. Get your entries in. The drawing will be Monday. And I'll get those prizes out to everybody that wins. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great weekend. And I'll catch you in chats. See y'all later.